And we're live. What's up, everybody?
Hey!
How is
Hey,
it going? I keep forgetting to play the music, but it's okay.
It's fine.
Today we're going to talk about the importance of rest and surrendering and knowing when to rest and why it's important to rest and all of that good jazz, because Sophie and I both have been really feeling that energy that rest is important right now.
It's so important, and it's something that we really need to learn to weave more into our lives. I think it's
Definitely.
very much part of that feminine energy. And I'm all for weaving in feminine energy into my life. I think our world is very masculine based a lot of the time.
Because the masculines make the workers.
Yep. So yeah.
Yes. All right. So just to preface, in case you're new here, welcome to the Power of Potential podcast. This is the place where Sophie and I help you mold your mindset to manifest success through open and honest conversations about real life experiences. Nothing but realness over here. Always.
And you cannot manifest success without the rest.
Right. That's fact. That is a fact that I have learned time and time again. Rest is everything. It's actually, I feel like rest is also kind of like the secret that people don't really talk about. Like some people do, but I mean, it's not a well-known component when it comes to manifestation. But it is so key. Resting and surrendering are the keys to getting what you want.
Surrendering. I get excited when we talk about surrendering because I think that's something that I have definitely learned over the past few years, and I've not always found it easy. I really don't find it easy.
It's really hard, especially if you're like someone who's really attached to control. It's really hard to let go. And so I actually wanted to ask you, Sophie, because you love surrendering. So like what does surrendering like mean to you? What does it look like to you?
It means to me, surrendering means to me taking a step back. It means when possibly there is chaos, or that kind of, when we talk about masculine energy, it's very strong, go, the doing, that like the doing energy. When there's a lot of that, maybe when challenges arise in your life, sometimes we just need to take a step back. And especially when challenges are concerned, actually. Because we all face challenges, don't we? We all face challenges, sometimes daily, sometimes, there might be a huge challenge in the month. There's always something that pops up. And surrendering to me is, like I said, taking that step back and kind of being like, right, what is this showing me? What am I learning from this? What am I to learn from this? And that's when we surrender, we're kind of giving that kind of like signal to the universe that we're willing to see where this is leading. We're willing to see where it's going. How do you feel about that? Do you feel...
I'm thinking that that's actually a really interesting perspective, because mine is a little bit different. To me,
that's what I love.
To me, surrendering is literally releasing control and releasing attachment. Like, because I'm just somebody who struggles a lot with like needing to know the answers and needing to control how things turn out, and like that's what causes me a lot of like stress, anxiety, resistance, problems. So when I think of surrendering, I think of like literally just letting it all go. And like not to say like not care, but in a sense, not care as much about what's happening, because I am just trusting that however it's playing out or however it's going to play out, whatever is happening right now is all for the best. So that's
How do you
what
feel?
surrendering is.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay.
How do you feel about surrendering though? Because like I said, I have found it really difficult.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like it's very, I don't know if this is the right term, but like polarizing in a way, because there's the part of me that is like, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to do that. That sounds like insanity. And then there's the other part of me is like, oh, but it feels so good though.
To just let go.
Yeah,
to let go
so
of that
it's kind of like I have to get to a point where like I really just can't take myself anymore, pretty much, and then I'll just let it go and everything will be fine. But I'm actually getting better at like switching into that quicker, instead of like whenever I face a problem now, instead of like letting it consume me and feeling like I need to control it, I need to overcome it, I need to tackle it, I just surrender to it. I'm just like, we're gonna see what happens now, not that I'm Christian, but like, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm not gonna deal with this. And that's kind of how it is for me. And it is both scary, but also really good.
It can feel really good. And I just, for anyone listening who, might be thinking, well, how on earth do I do that? When I said about taking that step back, sometimes we need to go into this period of rest and just being. And for some that might feel quite uncomfortable. I remember a time when resting for me was I felt guilty for resting.
I still do sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I do as much. Well, do you know what?
You're like, can't relate, not me.
I'm like, no, hon, like, I need this now. Well, for those who don't know, I'm a hypnotherapist, and I also work a lot with the moon cycles, and the moon teaches us that there's a time for doing and a time for being. And I've been in that kind of practice now for quite a while. So when I do get these, like, these times that I need to surrender and rest, I'm just like, oh, come on. Yeah, I need it. I've got a son, and, our lives are quite busy, and the rest is like, yeah, need that.
Rest is really good. And I was talking about rest as well on my live this afternoon earlier. On TikTok, I did an oracle pull or oracle message for the day, and it was basically saying time for a nap, like it's time to rest. And something that I talked about is like the importance of rest, because it's like in a capitalist world, rest is not something that is promoted, because when you're resting, you're not working. Yes. If you're not working, you're not making money.
Exactly.
So that's really something that we wanted to emphasize today, is about the importance of rest, because rest is actually productive.
Rest is productive.
Rest is super productive.
Because do you know what's not? What's not productive is burnout.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, burnout is when you are completely, what I will call, frazzled. When you cannot do any more, you are at your peak. And I'm sure many listeners have experienced that kind of, I just can't go on anymore. And you'll find that if you do burn out, you'll probably become ill. Yeah. Because when you become ill, that is your body literally forcing you into rest. And I have been there so many times. When I was at university a while ago, and then when I was training to be a teacher, this was a while ago also, I used to experience this a lot because it was all go, go, go. You know, when I was at university for the second time, I had a child. He was very young. And so I was trying to be a mum. I was trying to work. I was trying to do my uni work. And that, with a then 3-year-old at the time, was the toughest experience
I bet.
I think I've ever gone through.
Yeah.
And I used to get tonsillitis regularly.
Oh, wow. I had tonsillitis once. It was like the worst thing ever.
It's awful. And I used to get it, like, I'm sure it was something like 4 times a year. It was like if you think of like every quarter of a year, I was getting really, really poorly. So to the point where I'd have to be in bed, my whole body would hurt, my skin. You know that feeling where you touch and everything just hurts.
Yes.
And that was literally my body forcing me into a rest period. And at the time, I remember feeling like I had to be in work, you know, and the guilt of actually having time off from working would completely sabotage that. So it was an ongoing cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And this was repetitive. This would go on. And I went through a long period of time where tonsillitis was just like a thing for me. Believe it or not, I've not had it for years. You know, and that's the thing. If you might find yourself, you know, if you are someone that gets ill constantly, maybe looking at what's going on externally.
Mm-hmm. I always say that, always. Mm-hmm. Whenever my friends or people around me are just like, oh my God, like I'm feeling so sick, or like, you know, oh my God, like this happened to me, this is a real inconvenience, like it's ruining what I had planned. Like, not to be that person, but I'm kind of like, okay, but like, what is this trying to tell you?
Yes.
Because if you're feeling ill, then like your body it means it's not equipped to like handle what's happening to it. Mm-hmm. So like, what is it that's off balance? What is it that is causing this?
Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm going to say about emotion? Emotion causes illness. Emotion causes dis-ease within your body. Mm-hmm. And when we are doing, we're not leaving any room for anything, are we? You know, if we are constantly going. And this is why I love working, you know, with natural cycles, because natural cycles tell us, even the seasons, when you think of the seasons, you know, autumn, winter is a time for slowing down. And
I've been noticing that as well for myself.
Yeah.
As I've been like implementing more rest into like my lifestyle and just the way that I function, it's been really key in like looking to nature. And that's kind of a huge key of the messages that I get from my cards and stuff, is saying like, we are nature. Yeah. Nature has its seasons. Nature isn't always bloomed. No. Nature isn't always, you know, harvesting. Nature isn't always, you know, being planted. It's a cycle. And we have to like let ourselves go through the cycles and enjoy each one, you know, because each one is really important.
It is. Do you know what's so magical about rest? If you think of like rest as being the kind of darkness, you know, that's when we sleep in the dark. And what happens in darkness when you plant seeds? You need to plant seeds and they need to be in darkness before they actually grow. And when you allow yourself to rest and you allow your mind to just be calm, I can guarantee you that is when you will find your ideas will come through. You know, if you've got a certain goal, that you want to achieve, but maybe you're not quite sure how to get there, rest is key. Taking some time out, that is when when you're not constantly thinking of something, have you ever found when you want to try and, like, I don't know, work something out, or you're trying to figure something out and you're really thinking and thinking on, and you have a block?
You know what actually just came in my mind as you were saying that, as like somewhat of an analogy to use? When you're constantly thinking about a problem and trying to solve it, instead of like resting and letting it come to you, you're kind of taking, like, let's say you have a puzzle. Let's say the piece you need is a circle and you're holding a square, and you just keep jamming the square into it and wondering why it's not working.
Yes.
And it's like, because you're not using a circle, because you keep trying to use a square, because you won't just stop for a second and notice that, hey, this is a circle and I have a square.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
So it's like, that's how it feels, and I felt like that so many times. And if I had just taken a second, it's just, and this is the thing actually that about time and why people say like time is not linear, because I have spent so much time in the past just constantly like overthinking and ruminating and trying to strategize on something. And because I did that instead of just surrendering to it and like quieting my mind so I could actually think it through, instead of spending maybe 2 weeks to figure it out, I would spend 3 months trying to figure it out.
It's completely counterproductive, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
It's just made me think of like when I would, when I'd have a lot going on, everything that was going on, work, home life, and then I'd come home and have maybe an assignment to write. I can literally remember sitting tired out, absolutely exhausted from a day at work, then coming home and being mum and, keeping a house together, and then sitting down for an assignment and just be like staring at a blank screen sometimes. Because and that is so counterproductive. If I had maybe taken that a night off and had a bath and gone to bed earlier, maybe the next day I would have gotten that assignment more done than I ever would have just sat staring at a screen all night.
That's like completely reminding me of when I was in university and I would like procrastinate all my assignments because like none of them were really just like inspiring at all.
Yeah.
And I would just make myself pull all-nighters because like I was being strict with myself and saying, I'm not going to let myself sleep until I get this done.
Yeah.
But in the end, I ended up with like nothing because I was like, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this. I'm not in the right headspace to do this, but I'm forcing myself to do it. And like now I didn't rest and I also didn't get my assignment done. So like, where is the winning?
There's nothing there, is there? And that's what we're trying to say, people. Rest is productive. It is so productive.
Very productive.
We must try and break this, this kind of concept that we need to be doing to be moving forward. No.
Yeah, that is a very lack-based mindset, in my opinion.
Yes.
To feel the need to constantly be actively doing something in order for you to get somewhere. I had that mindset for the longest time. I was such a doer.
Yeah.
And it burnt me out more times than I can count on all my hands and my feet. And
having that kind of mindset for me caused so much procrastination.
Oh yeah, no. And it's just like
nothing...
it's so like mentally taxing as well. And it's like, I think if there's anything that you can like take away from this conversation today, please let it be that like, one, rest is productive, but like you're also capable and worthy of getting where you want to go while also resting and taking care of yourself. Like you don't have to compromise one for the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And I did want to also like emphasize as well, like what rest really is, because rest isn't just not working, because you can be scrolling through TikTok or watching a show, but your mind could still be on your work. So what resting is more of like a mindset thing of like not thinking about your problems and what you have to do and letting your mind be at peace, letting your mind rest and reset so that it can actually find the solutions that you're looking for.
Like if you, I don't know, say you're studying and you're constantly reading books that are for your study, in your rest time, do not read a study book, you know, in your rest time. If you want to read something fictional, for example, go for a walk, have a bath, you know, see your friends, go out places.
Yes.
Rest doesn't have to look like laying down.
Yeah.
You know, like how we think, oh, when we rest, you know, maybe we just sit down and watch TV. That's also great. But, you know, rest just means getting out of your head, getting that stuff out of your head for that just time. We need time to be in happiness, be in peace, you know, finding that kind of balance in life and not feeling guilty about it. And I would suggest, you know, if you do find rest hard and, you know, maybe you do deal with things around feeling guilt or shame about resting, then, you know, I would definitely recommend trying to, you know, work on why it is you feel that way. You know, where do those...
Where did you learn that you have to feel guilty for resting?
Yeah, definitely.
We have a comment from Emily. She says, rest is turning off the brain and just living in the moment. And that's 100% what it is. And that's what I was talking about in my live stream today on TikTok as well. So another point that we did want to touch on as well is like, okay, we're saying that rest is important and like surrendering is important and what that looks like. But a key question that I'm also still trying to figure out for myself, which does take time and practice, is developing the skill to discern when it is time to do the work and when it is time to rest. And I mean, I'm still trying to figure that out. But for me, so far, what I've been doing is like, I just do everything now based off of my inspiration. So if I'm really feeling inspired and excited to do something, I'll do it. If I feel that I'm getting really drained or I'm uninspired or, you know, I don't want to do anything, then I just rest.
It's time to take time.
So that's kind of how it goes for me. And like, I'll go through periods of like where I'm really inspired and I want to do things, and then periods where I'm resting. So that's kind of how it is for me. But I'd love to know what you have to say on this, Sophie.
You know what I'm like? I'm going to go back to the moon. I love the moon. I love living by the moon. And that is how I've learned to do this. This is how I've learned to do it, like I said, with natural cycles. And I generally find it works for me. However, there have been times recently, for example, where there's been personal things going on in my life. And like I said, I'm a therapist. I have to really look after myself, because if I don't look after myself, I'm not helping my clients. I have to be very careful about how my personal stuff can, you know, possibly change things for my clients, and we don't want to do that. So I've had to really take care of myself over the past couple of weeks, because the you know, a challenge did arise in my life, and it's been incredibly tough. And that is when I just had to go, right, stop now. You need to stop for a while. And that wasn't moon based. That was very much on literally feeling into my body. I had to feel, you know, be aware of how I feel, be aware how I felt. If I felt tired within these past couple of weeks, I've had to lay down and I've had to just allow myself to be calm and done lots of meditating and things like that. And I know that's not possible for everybody. I'm very lucky in that sense, being, you know, a business owner and being in control of my time. However, if you are in, you know, a day-to-day job, if you have that 9 to 5 and it's not always possible to do that, I would suggest honestly looking at what you do outside of work as well. I know work takes up a lot of our time as humans, you know, and I would definitely suggest that looking at what is going on when you're not in work. You know, are there things that can be put on hold for a while? You know, are there things that you can step back from, even if it's just to regain a day where you can just have some time, have some rest. But yeah, like I said, the moon, working with the moon cycles for me has been such an eye-opener. It's made my life so much more balanced, you know. And for those of you who don't know, the new moon, when you can't see the moon in the sky, that is a time for, you know, taking the time to dream and the time to plan what you want and, you know, really put out there what you want. And the full moon is a time where we can just be. It's a time to kind of take a step back, surrender. What do I need to let go of? You know, and that's what I like about working with the moon cycles. And it might not be for everyone, but yeah, that's what really helps me. I've found it helps me to regulate and to balance and to just take that time.
I strongly advise everybody to always just like learn about themselves. Absolutely. Because when you know yourself, then you can make things that are actually catered to you. Exactly. You know, you can look to astrology, you can look to human design, you can look to like those enneagram, like personality types, you can look to archetypes, you can look to the moon, you could look to, if you're a female, you could look to like your menstrual cycle. If you're a male, I think they go on, what's their rhythm called again? Is it circadian? The male hormone cycle, you could work with that if you're a male. Stuff like that, like literally just like learn about yourself and do what feels right to you. And something that I wanted to wrap it up with is just like some advice on how to work rest into your daily life, whether you're somebody who works a 9-to-5 job, or if you work multiple jobs, or if you are an entrepreneur. Like there is always enough time to rest if you create time for it, if you prioritize it.
Yes,
so a couple
you create your own time. You do create your own time.
So a couple things I wanted to say was, one, creating boundaries. Whether you work at a job or you work for yourself, it's really important to have boundaries for like when your brain is on work mode and when your brain is on rest mode, because it's not healthy for your brain to be working when you're not on the clock. Don't do that to yourself. You're not getting paid enough for that, I can assure you. So
especially as well, and this goes for myself, I also have to remind myself about this, is if you are an entrepreneur, if you do work for yourself and you have a phone that constantly goes off with messages, boundaries are essential. Time boundaries for those things are essential. You do not want to be picking up client messages at 10 o'clock at night while you're in the bath. I am guilty. I'm so guilty of this. I am so guilty of it. And I'm really, really trying to not open messages, you know, just, and even from friends as well. You know,
when it's your you time, it's your you time.
Yeah, put those group chats on mute, you know. Just give yourself that time. Tell yourself, right, maybe I'm not gonna look at my phone until 9 o'clock in the morning, you know. I have tried this and it's good.
I tried that, but I failed instantly, so I kind of just like let it go.
Bri,
But
I know how bad you are. Bri picked up a message from me.
It was at 3:33 in the morning. How could I not look at it? It was such a good time.
I was like, what are you doing? You absolute psychopath. I could see that you'd been online, and I was like, God, it must be really early in the morning. I thought, she's not been to sleep.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I just my head is like in the clouds a lot, and sometimes it just stays in the clouds for like way longer than I think it does. But it's okay.
But yeah.
We're well rested. We feel good.
Yeah.
But
speak for yourself.
Sorry.
You know what? We've had this conversation. I'm so tired today, but we're good. I'm gonna get some good sleep tonight.
Yeah.
So time boundaries.
Yeah, setting boundaries. Second of all, you know, if like for me, it's hard to switch my brain, and I think it's hard for a lot of people to switch their brain from work mode to like rest mode or personal time mode. So something that you can try is to create like your own little ritual or like a routine that will help you to switch off. So like let's say you are done working for the day, whether that's for yourself or for a job. And now you're ready to go into your regular time. Maybe you can have like a dance session, you know, get out of that space of thinking and just into like living. Maybe you can go for a walk. Maybe you could take a shower. Maybe you could read a book, listen to a podcast, something that's just going to help you switch into like a more, something that you like, essentially. For me, like when I rest and stuff, I am a really big binger of like TV shows and stuff. So Netflix is kind of like my rest and reset. When I'm taking a break, I'm going to go watch some Netflix, and I'm just going to enjoy that because I really like it. Another thing that I do is go for walks. Actually, going for walks is not really a rest thing. It's more just like pure enjoyment. And then showers also really help. Especially if you put intentions into your showers. Yes. Like if you go into the shower and you're like, when I step out of this shower, I'm going to feel XYZ. Trust me, it's amazing. It works really well. So yeah, that's like just a couple of tips that I have for ways that you can switch on and off and to incorporate more rest, whether you work a 9-to-5 job or if you work multiple jobs. Like just prioritize your rest. Even if it means like on the weekends, you're going to treat yourself to a bath, or you're going to treat yourself to like a rom-com movie or whatever it may be. Just doing that and like allowing your brain to just be in the moment and be happy and be where you are is enough to help bring that balance back.
And I would also say be aware of the sensations you feel in your body. When we're not rested, we can feel so much tension, you know, neck, head. You're getting headaches. If you're getting that neck ache, backache, shoulder pain, that is all tension. It's all signs of tension, you know. So that's when you just need to be aware. We really need to be aware, because we carry so much stuff around, even the unconscious stuff that, you know, we don't realize. So it builds. So just be aware of your body and aware that, you know, what is your body telling you? What's your mind telling you? And take those cues, because your body knows best.
It really does. I did want to share, Emily left a comment as well that might help people. Says, when it's time for me to clock out, I imagine a time card like you would at like an employer. And she imagines herself clocking out for the day. So that's kind of how she does it.
Emily, I need to take some advice on that. Because I work from home and I find myself spreading myself all around because I get bored of working in one place. So I often, you know, I might go in the dining room, I might stay in my office, sometimes I might go in my room, or I might go out for the day, and you know, just that clocking out and not having my work stuff around. I need to do more of this.
It's so hard because like I work in my room, I do everything in my room, which like they tell you not to do that because it's like really bad for you.
Thing.
But like I just don't really have an option to, so I just make it work. But like that's where boundaries are especially important. If you work from home, you know, try to set your boundaries for like where you're gonna work and like how
or if you do work from home and you feel a bit, you know, you feel like it gets too much, because I do sometimes. I like to just go out to like a coffee shop, or you know, if there's something I can do that doesn't involve seeing my clients, like obviously, you know, anything that I need to do marketing wise and things like that. Change of environment is so important because it can all get a bit too much. But anyway, I don't want to go off topic.
Yeah, I think we've really touched on all the points today, I feel like.
So yeah, everybody, rest is important, surrendering is important. And if, again, you have any questions or, you know, anything that you would like us to bring up on the next podcast, please do get in touch.
Yeah, leave a comment, DM us if you want on Instagram. We're always down to help.
Yeah, our handles are in
everything's there. Don't you worry. I got us set up.
She's always got us sorted. She likes to keep us sorted.
Yes, I tried.
I love it. Right.
All right. Good chat. Thank you
love that.
to those who tuned in live. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or something, I hope you got what you needed. I think we touched on a lot of good things. So
me too. And if you know someone that could do with some rest,
send it to them. Be like, you need to listen to this. Yes.
Yeah, love it. You know, if balance is something that you find a struggle, please do get in touch. I'm a hypnotherapist. I can help with lots of different things, especially when it comes to anxiety. You know, anxiety comes from...
Very true, very true. She can do that.
Yeah. Very true. Bri knows.
Yes. And definitely. Also, I want to say, feel free to reach out to me as well if you would like to, because I am branching off into mindset work now. So I'm pretty good at like setting boundaries and stuff like that. So if you struggle with boundaries, if you struggle with self-love, self-acceptance, self-worth, if you struggle with, overthinking and all of that amazing stuff that we all have, I am happy to also help. You know, you can reach out to both of us, whoever you like more. Obviously, it'll be Sophie, but
I think obviously it was going to be me.
I was, and then I was like, no, let's just say Sophie.
Don't be ridiculous. Thanks guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week, everybody. Have a good day.